Welcome to making a quick poster in Photoshop based on work that we've completed in SketchUp. You're going to look in your Start menu for Photoshop and click on the icon. Once the application opens, we're going to create a new file by going up to the upper left, clicking on File, New. We want to print this out on an 11 by 17, so we're going to change the width to 11, the height to 17. All other items should be sufficient. We can name our poster with the date and the architect, Odile Decq. So as we can see in our grid measurements across the top and bottom, we have an 11 by 17. You're going to have a little flexibility on how you want to lay out the poster, but there are a few items that I'd like you to include. I'm going to show you those items here and then tell you how I create titles and grids. You need to include 4 drawing types. They don't need to be at a particular scale for this exercise. After we model the Odile Decq residency and add some furniture and arrangement of our own, you're going to create snips that you import into Photoshop for the site plan, a roof plan, a section, and an elevation. Now let's learn how I added text and guide grids to this. Guide grids allow me to organize my poster very easily. I simply hover my cursor into the measurement on the top and bottom rulers, click my mouse and drag. With that, when I let go of the mouse, I'm able to let the grid line be there as a guide. This is something that's not going to print. So I want to arrange my poster to have the 4 required pictures, drawings. I'm going to section off the bottom so that I have an area for the title and a large space in the middle for a big image. So we'll back out and take a look at the way I've arranged and organized the program of Photoshop on my desktop. If you can't find the ruler or the grid here, look under View and click the rulers just by checking it. I like to work with at least the History and Layers tabs. You'll see those on the right hand of my screen showing. Those can be selected from here as well, Layers and History. Those show here and here. At any time in Photoshop, instead of using Control-Z or Control-Y, you may move forward or backward through using History. So again, pull your grid guides. I like to have a little margin for my guides just so that I understand where the poster will stop printing when I send it to print. So I've sectioned off a bottom area where I'd like you to include a title. We can do text in 2 ways. You can do it line by line, just by selecting the horizontal type tool or clicking T. Click once, create your title, and then across the top banner, you can make this scale at the correct font size. If you'd like to manually pull and drag the scale of text, you can do it that way as well. I like to make sure that Show Transform Controls is checked. That way I'm able to select the layer or the picture or the text on anything on my board without going to select it through the layer panel. If I don't check that, when I click around my poster, nothing is selected. So easier to check Show Transform controls. So if I click the title and hit Shift, I can strain this to equal proportions. If you don't use Shift, titles, pictures, text, everything is going to come in and be disproportionate if you scale it. Okay, if you want to click off of the object that you're working on, you can also use this upper arrow key along the left side or click V. If you're in the middle of transforming scale, Photoshop's going to ask you to confirm that as well. Okay, now you have a center space where I'd like you to select your favorite image from the SketchUp file, and then I'd like you to include some written text referencing back to Form, Space, and Order by Francis Ching and making a comparison of the form of Odile Decq's St. Ange residency with what you have learned from chapter 2 or 4 of that book. I like and prefer text to be more orderly if there is much to say. I'm going to use the same text horizontal type tool, and this time click once and drag the box to create a text box. We'll write some information in here at a much smaller scale, thinking about hierarchy here. We can change the color of text. I'm hitting Control A while I'm still in there by looking down at this lower left-hand column and clicking on the gray square. If we want the text to be darker or any color, we can simply use this tool and select the preferred. Up along the top in the text command, we see a few areas where we can manipulate its size, shape, and spacing or organize it along the right, center, or left. So I'd like a few different options of alignment with the text. I'm going to go to the Window tab and check Paragraph. And then I'm going to use the Text tab to select all of my text and see that I have a few other options that would organize the text along both right and left alignments at once, which architecturally makes this a very nice and crisp box. If I'd like all of the windows to be maintained in Photoshop, I can bank them into one area to keep my drawing space a little larger. Same thing if I would like to get rid of a few, we can always pull them out of the side and escape. You may also choose to change the background color this way. I'm going to double click on the background so that I can make it a layer that I can manipulate. I did that in the Layers tab here. Hit OK. And then we're going to explore the left column and try to find the same paint bucket. Actually, this icon sort of looks like West Virginia. It's about mid-column. I'm going to select that, choose a new color for my background, maybe a very light gray. I don't know yet what my main image will be, but I select it once and the entire background changes. All right, good luck. Look forward to seeing your 11 by 17 posters.